Doing that, we're gonna flip the DM screen. Yay!
Yay!
We're not streaming Marvel Rivals. I just have to fix that really quickly. But before we do that,
well, we could.
No, we're doing D&D tonight.
Yay!
Yeah, I'm kind of one-handed
If I
tonight,
was-
so
yeah.
If I was playing Marvel Rivals, I'd be playing Marvel Rivals.
we'll get into
Dungeons
that
and
in a
Dragons
moment.
Done. There we go. We're gonna switch back to where we're supposed to be. Hi everyone, my name is David. I am a part of the Logomancy Media team, and we're gonna be doing some D&D tonight, and hopefully with no more technical problems.
Well, now you jinxed it. Now you jinxed it.
Yeah, probably. I hope you're having a fantastic evening. This is going to be episode 9 of season 2 of Frontier Adventure Company, which we're very, very excited to be doing more of, and hopefully will go for a very long time. I don't know where I'm going with this, mostly the fact that there's a chance that it will randomly come to a stop for about a 3-week period coming up very soon here, because I'm having another baby.
Oh, baby.
So, hopefully this goes on for another week or two, but we'll keep you guys in the loop. We're going to play some D&D tonight. I'll be your dungeon master, and the lovely people that are currently beneath me will be your players. Let's find out how they've been going over the last month.
I heard how you
with this.
Freezing. Can
Phrasing.
we need a button. We need
No.
a button. HR.
Yes.
HR.
We're fine.
Allison, how's your week? How's your month been, I guess, actually?
Yeah, it has been a good solid month. My month has been pretty good. Just been working and upgrading my system and everything, getting some lights so it's not so boring behind me anymore. Other than that, everything's been pretty good. Looking good. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you want from me? It is Wednesday. I am
I do.
doing my best.
You're adorable.
Neon,
I know where you live.
come play with my dogs.
Okay.
Neon, how was your?
It's like
your
it's not a
month
threat.
been?
How are we doing? We're doing okay. Things are, I mean, they're moving along. They're steady. We're playing lots of good games. We're making good communities, and I'm working on a lot of things right now in the background. Mainly, y'all can find me playing Marvel Rivals mainly. And then I got in on the playtest for Valve's Deadlock, and that's been fun.
Deadlock's a
But
blast.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Doggo on the screen.
I know there's Doggo on the screen.
But he's your
Yeah.
bestest boy. Sorry, continue.
Am I not enough for you, geek?
No, you're the prettiest of girls. You're not the bestest of boys.
You can't flatter me now. Too late.
But look at that sexy butt though.
Where? It's not here. Like the camera stops like here.
I've seen
Moving-
it. It's a thing. We'd be
Moving
Is a
al-
thing.
we'd be demonetized so fast.
Tegan,
Moving right along.
Tegan, how have you been?
I've been drinking.
Well, the start of December was good. The end, not so much. I tried to defy gravity like Elphaba, but it did not work for me, and I broke my elbow. So I've been living.
Fucking Tegan, I love you so much. I tried to find help.
There's nothing that can be done except for it to rest, like for me to rest it. So I have to make fun of it somehow, right? So I've been living with that, but otherwise, my month has been really great. Blackwell.
Blackwell.
I decide, not you.
Yes. Yes. It shall be Blackwell.
Well, I'm gonna be honest, things have not been great. Things have been life has been tough, and things are kind of going in a very downward slope, personal life wise. But hey, I'm here. It's been a month. It's been a long time since I got to play my old man, and I'm excited to get back into his shoes. Right now I'm dealing with a mess that putting soda into a sealed container like this is a very funny thing.
I've done that before. It is just
So
like
now my dice tray is looking at me like, "Hey yo, what did you do?" And so are my dice, who've now gotten a nice little carbonated bath. So while things are going wonky and weird, at least I got time to play D&D and tell some fantastic stories.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
And last but of course never least, Pixie, how's your month been?
Oh boy, it's been a roller coaster, as it tends to be. There have been like some big ups and some big downs, and today I got to work at home, and so I just brought my blanket off my bed in here, and I'm really spoiled. Tom's been refilling my tea mug all day.
Aww.
So I'm just reveling in that because every time he comes in, I'm like, I have a kiss too, right? Which just improves my day by a very large amount. So yeah, I'm just kind of chilling in that, and maybe some of Lucy's enthusiasm will rub off on me tonight.
Lucy's enthusiasm will rub off on you because you were all playing amazing characters. So we're going to turn this all right around, and we're going to jump into some amazing storytelling. It's been a while. since we all sat at this table,
It's been a while.
digital as
Been
it is.
chopping.
It's been a long road. Anyways, best series of Star Trek aside,
Yes.
that's a lie. But I
love Star Trek.
I look. We.
I like Enterprise.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
My favorite Star Trek is General Grievous.
Oh, I love you so much, Neon, because I was just about to say that.
Disowning all of you.
You can't.
I did nothing
Yeah.
wrong.
Die.
I did nothing wrong.
You signed this. You are stuck with these children.
Yeah.
We spent so last time we were all here, we had gone down. You explored a elven city. You did some adventuring, some spelunking. Future me managed to communicate with the city, find out that it is in a way alive. And alongside that, discover wonderfully so that you could make the city fly. You put it down in the ocean after successfully recharging it off of a collection of nearby charges. I'm sure that won't come back to haunt you.
No, not at all.
And had received reports that the military of the Republic of Acclaim was on their way towards the city that had floated lazily past many, many observing eyes. You'd contacted your friend Heroin and told him that there was a elven city that was intact and he was going to come visit you, and then you'd split the party to go and investigate various magical artifacts that were around throughout the town or the city.
I also remember a bunch of bullshit stairs.
There was a lot of stairs.
There's a lot of stairs.
Get good. Just climb faster.
Just screw you. Mr.
Every day is
I
leg day
have
when you're an
wings.
ancient elf.
They must have been so jacked.
Yep.
Just
Half,
so
yes.
calves for days.
Calves for days. Sorry, I'm reading at the same time. Mac, for you, I will dress like Susan Storm.
You know what?
Somebody
I'll
hold-
pay for it.
Okay,
I will help pay for it. Let's get him and drag.
Yeah, so we'd split the party. You were looking for a few artifacts. And because I had to go find them myself, the artifacts that you were looking for are a pair of glasses that let you understand a book or an entire book, having read through it as though you'd read through it, depended on you understanding the language the book is written in. A sword that could change shape, a pair of gauntlets that increased your strength, and a hammer that had the ability to dispel magic. Were
That was the one I
the
was
four
reading.
items that you were looking for. How are you splitting the party?
If I remember Nyx was going by themselves to the sword.
Think.
Future
I
me.
think I had
weren't
Lucy.
you? Yeah, you were going with Lucy
And we
to
were
the
headed
goggles.
towards the glasses or the goggles? Yeah.
I think Blackwell was heading towards the gauntlets.
I
And
wrote it all down.
oh,
for sure.
see,
Yeah,
see,
and
yeah.
yeah, I think I was going to.
You were going to the hammer, and we were going to meet up with you at the hammer. You were going to scout it out.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think I was still at the school. And I went black. I'm like, oh, okay.
And I used my sending, so because Blackwell's going with. Oh, isn't Blackwell going with somebody? No.
With future me is what I have written down.
Oh yeah, you guys are going together.
Yeah.
Because I have
Yes,
sending, so I
yes.
can communicate with you guys. That was it.
Yeah.
I was like, I have sending with somebody.
I think it was also
Oh,
that you were
psychic.
able to psychically connect with us, and that telephone line was still active.
Yeah, so I think I can do that with Blackwell, Hixie, and Tegan. I think I saw that cyclic on. I don't have one with Future Me. That's why I was like, okay,
Yeah, that's
all right,
yeah,
Neon,
that's my
I need
Blackwell.
I need someone to go with Neon. Just in
Yes, my
case.
Theo went with Neon.
Okay. Then we're gonna start with Nyx first.
Okay.
Because if I'm not mistaken, that's the sword was the closest of them.
Yes,
believe
because
that
I
is
said if there's stairs, you might as well get started on the other ones, and I shall deal with this one.
Nix is done with the stairs.
I'm still gonna have to go through stairs. I bet you. Poor Nix.
So in the place in question that you're looking for is an old guards outpost. Basically, the structure is very plain. It's kind of a rounded building, so you can tell there's a space that goes up, but what's above you is clearly meant to be a watchtower, so they can stand there, they can watch kind of as people are walking around. And it was kind of like very open courtyard area. Even from down on the ground, you can see like that's kind of the basic structure, and then there's an actual like building that was more central to things. So how it feels coming through the front door of that building is the root, like the entire structure is built around a large central area. That is the housing of all of the cells for this area. So anyone who was imprisoned, that was the basic structure for every cell was kind of built around the center. So you could kind of walk around the interior and you would be able to kind of go past everyone. Then there's a wall with glass inlaid into it, so you can actually see through into the space, but it's actually enclosed off. You can't quite hear anything. And then there's a series of desks around. And that's kind of the entryway that you find yourself into.
Okay. I guess what Nix will do first is pretty much like scope out where they would place their weapons. If this was a guard's tower, where would be the best position for the weapons to be located?
Yeah. It's so as you kind of like try to scope around, you follow along like the inner edge of the circle, and you find there's basically what happens. You get to the back, there's stairs that go up, and it's like you can see there's just like open sky above.
Okay.
And then there's an alcove that leads. You like at first you were like, oh, there's like these cells must go to like the interior, but you actually tell there's like effectively like locker rooms on the inside, and the locker room door is locked.
I'm gonna lockpick that lock. It's what I meant for.
Okay. Really quickly here, give me thieves tools.
Sleight of hand.
Yeah, just sleight of hand.
Can I get that 21, please?
Yeah, you definitely get that 21. So with the 21, it's child's play for you. You know, the lock looks like it should be technologically advanced. Everything about it seems like really well put together and almost magical. But at the end of the day, it's a lock. You've done this before.
Passwords 1, 2, 3. Got it.
Yeah. As you pull your thieves tools out and you kind of get ready, it's real quick for you. Just click and the door is open. It slides open. What you are faced with is basically a locker room. So as you kind of enter in, there's lockers along the sides of the wall. They kind of like curve and follow the interior. So what you basically are faced with here is lockers, and then there's holes they can actually see through into the prison cells. So from inside the space, they could actually like look into the prison cells themselves. You couldn't see these holes from the other side. So whatever this is, there's some kind of magical effect. So like they can see through like out, but the people can't see back into the space they're in. And at the end, there's a small armory that's there. In it is kind of a collection of basic swords and spears, stuff that you would expect to see in an armory. And then there is another locked cabinet kind of closed off that's got a symbol of what appears to be a winged sword.
That looks important. I'm going to that. It's just like, nope, got it. And I'm going to try to lockpick it.
Give me another sleight of hand.
Please, a good one too.
Nice.
23. I'm playing today. Said I have a plus 10 in it. I'll be honest.
The lock was more difficult from an understanding perspective of Nix. Nix has picked complicated locks. Nix knows when a lock was intended to be difficult, and whatever this is was probably something important. Every bit of it feels important and ceremonial, and like, oh, there is a reason that this space would be set up this way. Unfortunately for them, all of the protections they possibly could have put into it are very quickly bypassed by one very sneaky snake, who's very understanding. And maybe, Nix is sitting there clicking away and it's like, oh, this is actually really good craftsmanship. That's a shame. And it comes open, and yeah, inside it, there's space. There are inlays like one would see in like a pelican case, right, where everything's kind of like laid out. And there's 4 slots, and in one of them is what looks to be an incredibly plain, boring short sword.
All right, I guess Nyx will just look at it and go like, okay, you were in this for a reason. Guess you're coming with me, buddy. And just picks up the sword.
Give me a dexterity check really quickly.
Oh, of course. Just saving throw or
A straight dexterity. Okay.
16?
As you go to grab the sword, you've held swords before. Like, yeah, you're mostly guns, but or in the modern era. But as you kind of go to wrap,
I don't use a gun.
oh, that's right, you don't.
I use blades. That's why I was like, sword shall be mine.
Knife, right? As you go to wrap your hand around it, there's a sensation that kind of runs through your arm, and your first instinct is to let go. And it's not even your instinct. It's like somebody else's instinct is telling you, let go. And you just go, nah, no. And as you hold on, you can almost feel, and it's like the sword itself is telling you that there is multiple swords in this one sword. So what you now hold in your hand is an elven liquid sword. So while it appears to be solid, the blade is capable of changing shape to any sword of a regular type. Counts as a +1 sword. So right now in its base form,
really
it's a +1 short sword. And it has 3 charges.
So
you can
I
expend a charge to change it to any other type of basic sword. Rapier, short sword, long sword, great sword. As long as it's a sword, you can change its shape.
So could I do a dagger?
You could do a dagger with it.
Nyx is just holding this big. Oh, we're gonna be friends. We're gonna be friends. And I would like to expend a charge, because it has 3 charges.
Yeah.
To make it a dagger that almost looks exactly like my regular dagger.
Okay.
And place it on my belt.
So the one thing that doesn't change about it is the blade never is shiny. It is a dull, like gray constant.
Perfect. Even more inconspicuous. I love it. Nyx is like, I like this thing. This is gonna stick with me.
Pixie, we're gonna jump to you and Lucy.
Okay.
I believe the rest of the group is going together, correct? So it's you and Future Me and Alice and Theo. You've met up with Future Me and the group.
I thought we all split.
No, we all split up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I misunderstood.
Only I think
it's
me
me
and
and
Theo
Theo.
are together.
Okay, perfect. Then, Lucy, we're gonna jump to you independently then. Which
Alright.
were you going after again?
The glasses.
Okay.
What did you do?
So there is the building that you're led to is a little bit further away, kind of through as you weave your way into the district. You find yourself at another library. This one's a lot more plain than the last library you were at. You can tell intended probably for a lower class of the city, but still possessing a fair bit of knowledge. Much more simple construction. This one is just rows of books, another story, and then rows of books is what you find yourself greeted by.
What? Oh, pardon me.
All good. I'm drinking a Red Bull for a reason.
I can't do that in the evening anymore. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to walk around and see if anything particular kind of feels like it pulls my attention, or just like I get a vibe from.
Yeah, you've studied these spaces before. You kind of know how elven architecture works. You've seen a lot of their ruins throughout the world, and the way that they're placed, and that often when the rich who come to you looking to make a quick buck off of priceless artifacts are what they're looking for. You know to look for special nooks and crannies, but you also know that for elves, especially of this kind of caliber of the cities you've seen, there's also a nonchalant air to the way they present certain things. As you wander through the shelves of library books, there's in the center of one of the rooms what looks to be a display case of some kind. There's a simple glass cover, and sitting in there is just a single pair of glasses. It looks like at one point there was multiple pairs of glasses that were, kept in this space. But there's just a single pair that's left sitting in the space.
Okay. Yeah, Lucy immediately kind of picks them up and like, pops them on and like looks around a little nervously, like, all right, wonder what's good.
So you've put them on. Add +1 to your intelligence.
Oh, nice.
Just a flat +1 to your intelligence score. As long as you're wearing them, you get to keep that +1. You take them off, you lose the +1.
Okay.
Do you do anything while you're wearing them? And they're called sorry, I should tell you what they are. So when you put them in your notes, they're called glasses of understanding. Do
I feel a little smarter?
Yeah, like a little bit. Like you're like, oh, I'm okay. I understand a little bit better what's going on.
I feel like I'm like getting an even closer grasp on how these elves lived now that I'm here in their space. And I'll probably just kind of like walk down like aisles until I see a book that like looks particularly interesting for some reason or other, and I'm gonna pull it off the shelf.
Okay. Nothing immediately happens when you pull it off the shelf, but there's kind of like an instinct that whispers at the back of your mind, just a quick like flip through the book, like try and read words as you flip through the book.
What language is it written in though?
Elvish.
Which you said is considerably different from Sarah Shaw, right? So I actually probably can't read it.
It like the actual like writing structure is different from Sarah Shaw.
Because if that's close enough, then yeah,
you'd be able to be like, you'd recognize words, like you could see like, oh, this is clearly the root word for this Sarah Shaw word, and like you're able to put those two together.
Right. Kind of like if you know Spanish, you can figure out what some French words mean and like how there's like connections with the Romance languages and stuff.
Yeah. So do you like kind of like flip through the book? Do you like carefully start like looking? Like what are you doing with it?
I think I probably kind of like flip the first couple of pages pretty normally.
Okay.
Just kind of like Lucy reads fast, but yeah, so she's kind of like is skimming through those first pages looking for words she knows.
As you start to like push, there's something that like that's telling you like go faster, just like flip the pages faster. Is effectively like it's like almost like something's whispering to you like come on, like we can do this quicker, like why are you taking so long?
So like when you watch Commander Data start to read a book and he's like 1 page, 2 page, blah, 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 and eventually he's just like done.
Yeah. So as you start to kind of like flip through, you've read a couple words, and as like you're like, oh, I kind of know what that word means, and as you start to slowly go through faster, the pages flipping faster and faster, you can feel like you're actually reading the book. You're like, again, you don't know what all the words mean, but there's sections of it that you kind of vaguely can translate, and they're in there, and it's as though by the time you hit the end of the book, it's as though you've read this book. You know you've expended one of the charges. So the glasses of understanding, how they work is they have 5 charges that reset at the end of a long rest. If you pick up a book and you start to flip through it, if you can read words as you're flipping through the book will actually basically translate what's in the book at the speed of your reading speed and then give it to you effectively as you flip through. So you don't actually have to read it. You just have to be able to read a couple words as you're flipping through the book.
Yeah. That's awesome. Lucy immediately reaches for another book.
Lucy's gonna be there a while.
She's gonna chill on that a little bit, but what did she just read?
What you read was a book on star charts and navigation. It is treated in a long way, basically how to navigate the cities.
Okay.
So whatever the section you're in is probably about some kind of navigation or movement between the cities.
Okay. Lucy's definitely gonna take some notes and kind of like a couple times, and look very satisfied as she leaves the library. To find everybody just kind of like not quite a spring in her step, more of a saunter maybe.
That like moment where you're like, I am great.
Yes, but like on someone who's like under 3 feet tall.
Yeah. Okay.
So basically,
So when a
what,
toddler is like, I am great.
this is
Kind
the
of
stuff that
actually.
Nora does.
Like
Yeah.
some slight success kid vibes. Like, yeah.
Yes.
I love it. I love it so much.
Wait, hold on.
Tegan and Alice,
Yes.
what were you
Yes.
after again?
The hammer.
Okay, the hammer's further to the edge of the city. It's contained in basically as you get further. I'm gonna punch my microphone. Don't mind me.
What did it do to you? The camera's the one that's been bothering you lately.
Right?
The microphone's like, I've been good, I swear.
As you get further towards the edge of the city, reaching where it is, there's this pink hue that just kind of covers the city as you go. It's almost like that stretch right before afternoon turns to twilight, where it's not quite the full blue of twilight, but it's those vibrant orange and pink strands that you can see in the evening. Is this glow that lights the city, and as you make your way through, following it, at first it's kind of like a little eerie because it's constant and it's ominous, and there's every once in a while that of the pulse of it recasting its spell over and over again. But it becomes almost comforting after a long time. A very casual and warm sensation that fills the space. But as you find yourself towards the end, there's these towers at the edge of the city. It seems to be what like the actual shield is casting to. There's a wall, and then there's the towers, and basically the shield is casting to the edge of these. And you can see that there is something else going on inside these towers themselves, and they're spaced out, 8 of them around the edge of the city, and you're standing at one of them, and you know this is where you were sent to find the hammer and where it's apparently going to be.
Okay. There I guess a door to like what kind is it made like a stone kind of like tower?
Yeah, it's the same almost perfect stone that you're used to seeing throughout the rest of the city.
Okay.
That like purely manufactured stone vibes.
Okay. With the door?
Yeah, there's just it's like an entryway, so you can tell this is probably some form of guard tower, so guards could get up onto the wall, and then they could meet. This one is different than the other ones, like it's more opulent, so this is probably the main tower where guard duty shifts were planned, stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah, no, Alice will at least go to the door and try and open it.
Okay. It opens with little issue. You can tell it's supposed to be locked, but like the door was ajar when you got there.
Okay. So she just kind of had to put her hands on like the frame and be like, hello? Okay, she'll open the door and head inside. Is there a direction now that she's feeling drawn towards? Like, does she have to go up? Is it somewhere like on this main floor?
Give me an Arcana check.
Okay. Actually, not too bad at it. Oh, nice. 17.
You can feel there's something like the space itself is magical, and you're not 100% sure if there's something maybe at the top of the tower, kind of as you go up, as you walk through the space. What you're greeted with is like a very basic, like there's a table, there's like papers spread out on it, there's chairs that were sit around. This is clearly where guards would sit, and then there's a spiral of stairs that go up to the wall itself. And you can see, like, even from where you are, you can tell there's actually a room above the wall, which is where you can feel like there's something that's like pulling you towards. It's really hard to tell if it's maybe something as a result of whatever is generating the shield, or if it's actually something like what you're looking for.
Oh, okay. I think as Alice continues to go up, she's gonna take like a good look before continuing to the next floor.
Yeah.
To decide if it's what she needs or if it's whatever the spell is being transferred to.
Okay. Getting to the actual top of the wall section. Again, there's a couple of chairs and a table. This is where people would stop. There's spots where people would lean their weapons as they're going. The view you're granted is stunning in both directions. Looking back in towards the city, it's this like almost conical shape that the city takes on, and it's really hard to appreciate from the ground. Even from the map you were seeing, you didn't really get a feel for it, but the way the city clearly is built to kind of spire up towards that central tower and towards the way that people engage with it is awe-inspiring. To see this in of itself would have been an absolutely stunning sight in its heyday, especially full of people and stuff moving around and animals. But as you turn around, you find you're at sea. This gorgeous, perfect, serene water on the other side of the shield that separates you from it. This stunning view. You can see birds that are flying past. You can see in the distance the edge of land. And you can see smoke trails in the far, far distance of something that's clearly coming towards you.
Oh, fun. Okay. I'll definitely likely tell that to. Sorry, Allison. Are we all connected, or do we have to talk to you and then you can only talk?
Just me, and then I relay the message.
Okay, I couldn't remember. Thank you. So yeah, Alice will definitely convey that to Nyx, being like, it's still far, but there's definitely something like the military or someone coming towards us.
Cool. Great. I will relay that to the rest of the group. Any luck on the hammer?
None yet. I think I am getting closer.
Okay, I'm on my way to your location now, so we're meeting up at you. So I'll be there soon, and I'm gonna just have Nyx relay the whole message, like, hey, so there's smoke clouds and things are coming, and maybe we should hurry up, guys.
Yeah, at that point, Lucille definitely be jogging back towards everybody.
I feel like Lucy and Nyx would just show up in the middle, just be like, oh, hey.
Mhm.
Do you want to go up further into that room, Alice? Or do you want to explore around a little bit more?
There's nothing else like I can feel within this room? Or,
Not
like,
in this space, no, but you can definitely feel like whatever you're being drawn to is definitely like directly above you now.
Above me now. Okay. Alice will continue going up then.
Okay. This room was, as you kind of like round the stairs up to here, the room that you find yourself in is clearly some kind of command post. There's schedules written on the wall. You can't read what it says, but it's very clearly times that are being denoted just from the way that they're written. It's pretty quick and easy to put together. There's what looks to be almost like names is so you're like, this is probably the roster for the day the city was abandoned, located here. And as you kind of like look around the space, sitting on the table in the far side is a mall. Just a regular, it looks kind of regular until you start to look a little bit closer, and you notice that the material almost seems to have like a pulse to it as you look at it.
Yeah, she is gonna go towards the mall then.
Okay. As you get closer, there's a sense of dread. There's something about this that, like, you are a machine of the entity of people's belief in the machine spirit giving birth to a person.
Mhm.
As a train runs and that persona is given onto them, you are given birth. there's an understanding that you have, even things that don't come to life that have this kind of mythical entity around them, this belief that existed around them that was so strong that it became a personality of itself. Even if it doesn't give birth to a life like you had, what you can see is you can get a very good sense for what this is. Whatever you're looking at has that kind of aura, and it's not good. This was a tool of fear and oppression, and it radiates off it as far as you can tell.
Okay. Well, if it is what Alice is hoping it is, then she could see that. It's supposed to dispel magic. I don't think she's gonna touch it, just because she doesn't quite understand it. But she will relay to Nyx that she found it.
Okay.
Or highly suspects that she found it.
Before we get to Nyx's response to that, future me and Theo.
The location was detailed as this way.
Well, lead the way.
I'll head towards wherever the outlined location would have been.
Yeah, it's following along the edge of the space that you're in. There is a nice residence that you find yourself at. And this is clearly somebody's home. Whoever this was probably somebody of importance, because you've noticed most of the buildings are communal living spaces, and this one appears to be for like a singular family. So they were probably somebody of importance, somebody who deserved to have it. It's walled off from the surrounding buildings. It stands out a little bit, even though it's made of the same material as everything else. There's almost the feeling that this was probably something important.
Walking inside, what are we looking at?
It's a really nice home. The furniture is opulent. It's carved from a wood that you both do and don't recognize. You, future me, don't recognize it, but you know you've seen it somewhere before. It's just in the back of your mind, and there's some significance to it. Like it's clearly something that was probably important. So it strikes you as odd. The furniture shouldn't be made out of this wood. Is like immediately in your brain, like something about that isn't right.
Out of curiosity, could I make a nature check on it? Like,
Go for it.
Theo works as a farmer. His whole life now is a farmer now. Would he know what it is?
Give me a nature check. It's gonna be a little higher because it's an extinct species of wood, but I can give you an answer.
It's a 13.
Okay, so with a 13, Theo, it's his kind of like having worked with wood, working with physical materials as long as Theo has throughout the years, you're able to recognize when something was probably made, like when it would be used for something very specific or very dense. You can tell the difference between wood that would be used for hardwood floors versus wood for a wall versus wood you would use for the handle of a tool. This is very hardwood. The wood is almost like steel. It's so dense and so strong. So to you, again, having seen it, this would be perfect for like an axe handle, or if you were trying to build a really tall structure, this would be perfect for that. To see furniture made out of it would be like making a chair out of gold for the sense of what you can tell.
I think Theo would, with all that in mind, Theo's like kind of examining all the wood in the room, just seeing it made of this structure, and it's just like, this is nice craftsmanship. Just, it's almost like they were building a fortress out of their home.
This residence was to establish some sort of importance for its family. Judging by the wood in the area, they might have been a military leader. We should find those gauntlets. And I'll look around for them. If there's like a upstairs, I'd probably start there.
Yeah, there is. So we can start there. As you get upstairs, what you're greeted with is a large open space. There are 5 beds, kind of along the walls, space for where you could see like almost 6 beds could be, small single, and at the top of the room there is a single large bed.
No gauntlets?
Not that you immediately see. The arrangement of this room is very purposeful.
Understood. I am going to lay down on the bed.
Which one? The big one?
Oh, the big one. Yes,
Yeah.
the big one.
I figured that seems like a very future me move. It's very soft and plush. It's very comfortable, but also somehow at the same time very firm. It feels like you're lying on the ground, and you shouldn't.
Interesting. I will now initiate the average get up routine, and go through the steps an average person would take in their getting ready for their day. So I'm gonna get out of bed. I'm gonna see if I can see a closet and maybe try to get dressed. If there's like a bathroom or something like that up here, or some sort of like prepping room. And go through like a morning routine and see if I find the gauntlets somewhere along that routine.
Almost immediately, the oddest part to you is that there is no dressers here. Like, this is clearly somewhere people sleep, but there's nowhere for people to keep their clothes immediately visible.
Interesting. It appears they did not wear clothes here.
I think Theo would hear that. I imagine future me went upstairs. Theo's still downstairs, like investigating, looking around there.
Yeah.
And he hears that, and he's just like, I mean, if they're comfortable like that, I'm not going to complain. Just what you do in your own home is what you do in your own home.
There is no place to store clothing. Therefore, they either magically maintained theirs or wore none.
I'm going to go with magically cleaning their clothes. I don't imagine an advanced folk like this wearing nothing. Then again, there were some stories I read.
Some of the most advanced folks I'm aware of do not wear clothes at all.
Which is very peculiar. I'm gonna look around for the gauntlets down here. If you find something up there, just let me know.
I will let you know.
And I think I would start investigating. Like, I imagine like we're kind of like in this living room setup downstairs. If this is wood that's generally used as like something that's special purpose, there's got to be some form of, like, I guess a better question is, when we entered, did it feel like this room had been untouched? Like it's been in like stasis essentially.
Yeah, this, like, much like the rest of the place, this room has been abandoned for probably as long as the rest of the city has been.
I wonder if I could do like a survival check to see if there's footprints.
Yeah, give me either survival or I'll give you investigation. Either one.
I'm gonna do survival. I'm not trusting that. Yeah, never mind. My survival don't want to work.
No, you can't see any like clear, like there's your footprints in the dust and everything, but you can't see any signs of like others having moved through.
Is there anything like cabinets? Anything like a?
Yeah. So the space you entered into, it's almost like when you're being led in. This is like you'd be interrogated entering into this space. Is effectively how it is. There are 2 high-backed chairs and then 4 couches arranged, and they all face the door. So there's you walk into the door, there's a half step down, and then you find yourself in like this space, and then further back you can see there's a dining room and then prep space, and there is storage around the walls and stuff like that. It's mostly like trinkets and knickknacks and banners that you don't understand the purpose of.
think he would start there, like checking like the area of like where the trinkets and knickknacks are, seeing if there's anything behind them, besides them before going into the kitchen. Because, you know, people leave the most random things in the kitchen.
Yeah, there's nothing really like the house is meticulous. Everything seems to have a very like intentional place. Again, the weird probably would stand out to Theo, especially is you're used to homes that are, you know, you've got a place for the family room to sit, you've got a dining room, and the dining room is meant to be a place for people to gather. All of this feels like a very intentional space to show off something. And you can tell that the placement of the trinkets and the placement of things like banners and other stuff that's coats of arms, that at least what you would interpret to be some kind of coat of arms. Everything seems to have a very intentional placement so that it can be seen and it can be shown. The weird one is getting into the kitchen. There is a collection of discs. They look like coins, but they're all stamped, and they all appear to be made out of different materials. You've got gold and silver, some kind of it looks like it could be copper, but not quite. And then other materials, one of which you're pretty sure is platinum.
And these are like discs, like
yeah, they're laid out. It seems representation, like there's obviously, as you kind of go up the quality of materials, there's less of them as they go through, and they seem to be put out to show in the space, easily grabbed, easily messaged. Each of the coins is pressed with a different symbol on them, so kind of in the same way you saw those coat of arms outside, they seem to be something like a coat of arms or some kind of family markings that are on them. And they're there and they're present in the dining and kitchen space that's available. And that would be the most notable thing to you.
Would I get the sense that, like kind of what Future Me said, is this someone who was a general or maybe politician?
Somebody of importance. This like immediately you know it's not money. It looks like money in the way that it's presented, but it's not money because they're not all minted the same. They are clearly minted, but they're not minted the same. So there's some kind of importance that is established here, and that's immediately noticeable. And so whatever this is, this was important, and clearly whoever this person was, there was a reason they had this. And everything seems to lead towards they were some kind of leader figure.
I think I would pick up the disc.
Okay.
And who has the second link again between all of us?
You do.
You.
Yeah. Oh, me. I have the psychic link to everybody.
I think he would send a message to Nick saying, I found these plates and they got these insignias on them. They're kind of minted. One of them is like, he starts going through the different layers of like values of the disc. We should probably tell our archaeologist friend about them. She might know a little bit more about them than I do.
Bag them for now. We'll meet up in the spot and tell everybody what we found so far. Just bag them and tag them.
And I think, yeah, he'll just pick them up. Anything else of like, you know, archaeological value, because at this point it's just like he knows we should find one thing, but his brain squirreled and said, oh well, look at this.
I have a bad feeling
The worst people to go looking for a single
this
thing.
is probably the worst group to go alone.
So he's going to start just kind of picking up trinkets and things like, doop, put them in the bag.
Why don't you feel more like the rogue? Just be like, I'm gonna take all their shit.
Future me.
It's for
tails.
research.
Heads or tails?
Heads or tails? Evens or odd?
Tails.
Okay. Give me an investigation check.
Uh-oh.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Investigation 15.
Okay. The bed you laid on, you notice that the like it doesn't have legs. It's like attached to the floor, but the bed you laid on, it did not go as deep as the frame that you see would suggest.
Interesting. Can I remove the mattress from the frame?
Are you just trying to like pull the mattress off?
Yeah.
Which side of the, are you like at the like foot of the bed trying to pull it basically?
No, I'm trying I'm on the side trying to like roll it off.
As you go to like push the mattress, you notice like the bottom kind of like lifts up and tries to hinge towards like the head of the bed.
Interesting. I will do it that way and follow the hinge.
This is something I figured future me would have figured out. I was like, I'm gonna give a hint. I was like, let's see how. But yeah, as you hinge open, you are presented with a wardrobe.
Oh, I have found the clothing.
I think you would hear like footsteps coming up the stairs now after he's done, basically
Stealing.
and he would
Pillaging,
hear
perhaps?
I have found the clothing, and Theo would just come running up the stairs like, now I gotta see this. Like this sense of like wanting to see, because now he's interested in what's going on.
So
Love Theo.
basically what you're presented with looks like a wardrobe that's been laid flat. It's divided in half. One half is these
Okay.
absolutely stunning dresses. Like whatever material they're made from is gorgeous and delicate, and gossamer like butterfly wings effectively is what you're presented with. It's if you were to wear it today, it would be very immodest. Like it leaves very little to the
I
imagination.
will take all of them.
On the other side is a set of what appears to be some kind of uniform or something, and sitting on top is a pair of gauntlets that are crossed over top of each other.
I will pick those up as well.
Okay. Do you put them on? Do you just like pick them up?
Yeah. I'll put them on just to see what's up and
Okay. As you put the gauntlets on your hands, it feels the same way your body moves. You watch as the gauntlet like extends down and locks into place. Like it just like it comes down, clamps down, and like nothing short of like your own will would remove that. And then you watch as the gauntlet basically reconfigures itself from being too large for your hands to fitting your hands perfectly. You are now attuned to Varys's gauntlets of the gods. You gain +2 strength, like that. And you can store a spell in them. So you can once a day
Fireball.
assign a spell to them, and if you hit somebody with a unarmed attack, like you just punch somebody with these gloves, you can deal the effect of the spell to that person, as though you are
Fireball.
casting the spell.
Fireball.
And is that just
Explosion.
any unarmed attack, or is that specifically a strength-based unarmed attack?
Like if you just like punch somebody.
Oh, beautiful.
David, can I ask the real important question?
Yes.
If they morph, will it morph with them?
Yes, as a druid, it morphs. All my
Yeah.
gear morphs with me.
Because I could just imagine a spider.
Out of
Yes.
nowhere, just like slamming somebody. Fireball.
Oh my god.
If it's any spell, that's even worse, because better than fireball, you have earthquake, tsunami, thunderbolt. You have a lot of spells.
Okay,
that can
but-
go
So there
great.
is a technical like it will
It has to be
only
a single
for
target
level
spell.
5. Yeah, a single target spell, and it can. Oh well, no, you can
Oh?
do AOE spells in it.
Okay, but only maximum level 5.
Level 5.
Okay, there's still a lot of good options in that.
I will tell you this. As you think to yourself, like, I wonder if I can take these off. It's like something tells you you can,
Yeah.
in that way of like there will be consequences.
I have made a semi-permanent upgrade.
I think Theo would see the gauntlets on feature me, and he's just like nodding his head, like, they suit you. You look good in them. As he's picking up the uniform and checking it out. What does a uniform look like?
You look good.
Sorry, I'm sharing features in chat so you guys have the.
Thank you.
full spell description.
I was gonna ask, could you send me the stuff for my sword, though, please?
There you go. And then there's one left that you guys haven't touched yet, so we'll find out what that does. The uniform itself is so what you're seeing is a white shirt where there is gold thread done into the shoulders, and then it comes with this vibrant deep purple cape that is designed to be clasped with the crest that you've seen kind of throughout the house, clasps on in one side. The cape kind of comes down to there. You can tell it's meant to go around the shoulder, so the shoulder that's got the gold thread on it. It appears to be some kind of like identifier, like it's clearly a rank of some kind. And then the other shoulder would be covered by the cape that's attached to it as well. And then it comes with a pair of these just very like almost like impossibly black pants.
Are they Dragonborn sized? Like, is the uniform Dragonborn size?
It's medium to large, so yeah, sure, it could be.
If you would
Oh,
like,
no.
I can attempt to tailor them. We
Oh,
can get them
no.
sized.
I feel like Dragonborn size is like extra large, 2X. He's not fitting.
But you could tailor them. Like you could probably find somebody who could tailor them for you.
But I think he would still like take them, like pick them up if they're already folded, put them in a bag. You know, more stuff to give to Lucy to investigate later.
I believe you would look good in them.
I know, right? The cape and the symbol on the chest, but you know, I feel like this belongs in a museum first, or maybe we could figure out like someplace to
Incorrect.
display this at.
Museums are locations of major theft and should be abolished.
You're not wrong, but maybe we shouldn't. You're not wrong. I'm gonna just let's leave it at that. You're not wrong.
Yeah,
As he
okay,
said,
An
it puts
article
all this-
belongs with its people.
So should I put it back? Or are you saying like
You are now its people.
future me?
It's just different.
Nix, you've received message from Alice about having found what they believe to be the hammer that you're looking for.
Yes. I'll be like, all right, Alice. I am on my way.
You are not going to like it though.
Why? What's
there are
up
many
there?
stairs.
God damn it! It's just like, you know, people can fly. There's 2 robots on the team that have endless energy. There's a little gnome running around who's just so energetic because this is her shit.
I mean, super energetic, but also like this stairs come up to like her hips. Or
I know, she's like bunny hopping all the way up.
I think
Like,
at
Nix is
this moment,
oh
as
my God.
I think as this moment as Nix is going through that turmoil of stairs, you get a message from Theo saying, "Hey, we found the gauntlets. They're attached to Future Me now. And I also found this pretty cool like uniform. It's got this cape and this clasp and this symbol."
Are you just taking everything?
I don't think there's a way to say like
no.
I feel like there's a moment where you can feel there's like a shrug of like a moment of
Look, we have people coming. Might be best if we don't take everything. Just take
I'm just
the
picking
important
it up
shit
for
and
an
just
archaeologist friend. Like maybe they might know what it is.
and
be able to,
fucking
you know.
hide it. Hide the really cool shit. Give them the crappy shit. Like I'm just saying.
Well, the gauntlets are kind of. He looks over at Future Me. I don't know. They could take those off.
Perfect. Does Future Me like them? Wait, that's a good question. Does Future Me like them? Are they okay with them?
What color are they? Or like what metal? Are they silver? Are they gold? Are they
They're like a brass, like so effectively what it is like there's armor plating over where like all of the normal flat components of one's hand would be on the top, made of it looks like brass, for lack of a better term. It's some kind of brass, and then underneath it is that same kind of like void black fabric that kind of wraps through it. And then there's a couple of like chains that are effectively linking to the different places on the gauntlets. They're a little ostentatious, like they were clearly meant to be a symbol of power as well as a pretty powerful magical item. But you kind of win some, you lose some.
I think
they are not my color.
They're not Future Me's color, but Future Me, do you like them though?
I will be able to cast spells more efficiently.
They'll be able to cast it. Yeah, I think they do like them. I think they do like them.
Okay, look. Alice says that they think that they found the hammer we're looking for. As such, I believe that we all should rendezvous at that point. They're not really touching it, which I think is a good idea.
Yet.
We're on our way then.
I'm yeah. Yep.
And I relay that to future me of like the hammer, Alice not wanting to touch it, all that.
We shall
Cool.
head towards her.
I'm gonna head up the stairs. Like Nyx gets to the stairs and just goes, and just starts slithering up them. Like, oh my god.
I'm assuming the plan is to all meet in the space and stare at them all. Is kind of the long term.
One of us will pick it up. You know this, David.
I'm 100% aware one of you is going to touch the item. But
One of us I'm going to touch it.
It's going to
Alice
be
has sat down in like front of it now and is like, as future me would say, we are different, but also the same. It's like her hands like, if maybe I shouldn't, maybe I should.
I feel like Nyx would just get to the top, just gonna be like, what did you just say? Huh?
It had many beings believing in it.
It's a
It
hammer.
is alive.
Ah. You know what? Enough said. Weird elven shit. Got it.
all of you now standing around, having collected your respective magical items, and staring at the mall that is in front of you. So, Blackwell, you notice the wood that the handle is made out of is the exact same wood type that was in the furniture that was there.
Oh, yeah, he's grabbing it then. He's going to be like, oh, this looks familiar. And without even a hesitation moment of, head goes out to reach for it.
Be gentle.
Or be rough.
Like one of your lovers.
The choice is yours.
One of your many ex-lovers. Be
Blackwell.
gentle
I
or
do not
rough.
understand.
You, as your hand connects with the handle of the maul, you find yourself standing in a quiet room. It's this room that you're in right now, but it's quiet, but eerily so. And at first, it's like, oh, we're still here, but you notice your friends aren't anymore. You can hear as kind of the world seems to come together around you. You can hear footsteps and call outs and stuff, and you look out through the wall, and where ocean was before now is a vast empty plains that is on fire. The sky above you is burning and streaked with light, and everything seems like it is going badly. And a man who you would know as Saru Shah, but is not, turns to look at you and goes, "How did you get into my tower, abomination?"
Eat his ass.
That's terribly rude.
So remind me who Sheriff Shaw is real quick. Like,
So the Saru Shah are the elves of the world.
Okay.
So it's you and this Saru Shah man who is very similar to the uniform you just stole. It very, like, again, nice white shirt. His cape is red instead of the purple of the one you took. But it's every bit of it says military uniform, and he turns to look at you, and he looks at you holding the hammer and goes, "You will release that."
Can I get a please with that? Like, what's going on, man? Like, this is
Grandpa Theo.
kind of weird as he looks up to the desolate land, looks up to the sky, and it's just like, I imagine it's this red purple. It looks like doomsday.
Yeah.
Like it's a doomsday scenario, like legitimately DC's doomsday like line of movies, that kind of bad.
Yeah. He reaches to go to grab the hammer, and you watch as his hand goes through it, and there's a moment of like shock and horror, and he turns and sees the exact same hammer where you just picked it up, and he looks to you, and there's this wild confusion on his face. He goes, "How?"
I think Theo would look at him and say, like, I feel like Theo would click in his head, because I think Theo's been here before. And that sense of, oh, he doesn't know. Because me and you have talked about this. I think Theo would just say, oh, son, you're dead.
What? I can't be. This city still stands.
You're dead. You've long since passed. What you're seeing is memory fragments. It's weird magical stuff. I'm not good with it. My wife's good with it. I'm not. But you're dead. What you're seeing is probably the last memory. Again, my wife is better explaining this stuff than me.
When are you?
What year is it?
It
No,
is.
it's above table. Like, what year is it?
You are 5,200-ish years since the events of the Night of the Thousand Tears. People would call it like 5208 would be kind of the general year that they would use to describe your timeline.
I think I would tell him that, like, it's 5208. What year is it for you, son? Like, you looking I think, yeah.
It is the fourth dawn of the third era.
Oh yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm so sorry. I have no idea what you're saying.
Your people are...
You're doing a lot of your people. I don't like that. That feels weird.
I don't care what you want.
Well, you're kind of dead, so you should start caring more. Because I got a feeling we're going to be talking a lot more.
If I'm already dead, then it matters not what I think of your world. Mine has already ended. So
that is true. So, you know, you kind of on the road with me. Trust me, people call me a lot of things. Abomination is not the worst thing. We could talk. You could learn to be nice.
Nothing to say to you and any of your ilk. Fucking dragonborn.
Okay, would you like a cookie for that? Would you like a hug? You have some. You would be very. I think you and a friend of mine would get along. Their name is Nix. They got the same kind of angsty energy. Listen, I get it. It's a lot to take in. How about you give me a name first?
I am. You. My name has been forgotten.
Buddy, I have no idea who you are, and you started just screaming profanities at me. You really think I would figure out what your name is based on that, or I would find your name randomly? And I just said that you were dead, son. So let's start over. Like, we're going to forget all the craziness that you said. Because, again, I've heard worse. So what's your name, son?
I am Shar of the Dark Sun.
That's a title, I feel like, but we'll go with Shar. Shar, nice to meet you. My name is Theodore Blade.
And you watch him like wrestling with this entire thing, where he does not know what to say to you because like
I feel like Nix is like my ears are burning. What the fuck?
There's like he clearly thinks less of you, and like there's something else entirely baked into that is probably long lost to your to your entire people's history as to why this like very specific abomination is not something dragonborn are often called. They're very highly revered. There's no dragons really left in the world, so like to hear like somebody refer to dragonborn as an abomination, you're like, this is especially weird. And you can see him like wrestling with like the circumstances of all of this, and finally he goes, I suppose. And he kind of like, looks around, and you can tell like he's like realizing like this is probably his last moments, or like something massively changes in this moment. And he goes, I was a mage hunter for my empire. And he looks at the hammer and he's like,
oh, you are a special type of fucked up. We don't really do that nowadays. Listen, I'm sure there's a lot that you could tell me, but let's start slow. You're dead. Let's first come across with that. Let's get grounded with that. you are, all intents and purposes, no longer the hot thing in the world right now. And that's okay. You're here now. Me and you are talking. I'm sure I can learn a lot from you, and I could tell other people. Again, my wife is better at this than me. Like, she's used to dealing with people who have long since passed and, you know, all that stuff. But if we're going to be around each other a little bit more, you can tell me about your life and I can tell you about what's going on in this life. And we can pause on the absurdities being said towards one another because, and he kind of looks at the hammer. Is it clicking that this hammer is what he, you know, is there a sense
he went to grab yours, his hand went through it, and he's looking back at like the exact same hammer sitting there. Like it's two of the same thing.
I got a feeling, and because again, my wife knows better than this, that your soul is tied to this.
That
now we could be nice, or I could throw this into the ocean, to the deepest parts of it, and well, you're lost. I'd rather not do that because I like friendliness. I like peace. I like kindness. I got one angsty teenager, and that's okay. I got a bunch of kids. I got a bunch of like children who are angsty, and that's okay. But being rude and being a dick are two different things. And you, sir, are being a dick. It is not nice to be prejudiced. It is not nice to be racist. And it's not good to be any of those things. So are we going to be nice to each other, or are you going to take a nice deep drink?
Oh my God.
I'm trying to like think of how to word this because like at the risk of being a little too on the nose for you specifically, Blackwell, this would be the same as like telling like General Lee that like he was a bad person. Like he's just sitting there like, no, I'm not. Like this is the way things are. Like that's kind of like the vibe he's giving off, and you can tell, and he's like, I suppose there's much to be done for your record-keeping ways in passing on some final knowledge and knowing that someone will remember me and that this conversation will never happen again.
Oh, no, buddy. I got a feeling that me and you're going to be talking a lot.
That's not how our artifacts work. You are correct. If I am dead, this was my last moments. And he kind of like looks up into the sky, and as you watch as it kind of like shimmers slightly, he goes, I suspect whatever this is the end of my world and the beginning of yours. But our artifacts are an extension of our clan, passed from one to the next, so that our final moments with it may give the new user insight into our lives and how we were. And he kind of like looks out over the like burning grasslands that are in front of him. And you see him kind of like studying the ground for a moment.
Can I pull out the uniform by chance?
Sure.
Like just kind of pull it out and say, I noticed that your uniform is kind of similar to this.
He looks at it and goes, Varus's uniform. So he's dead too.
Would as an archaeologist, would I recognize the way that he gave the dates, that type of measure of time?
If you were there, you would 100% recognize the date. As for all of like this entire conversation is happening within a very split second of like Theo wrapping his hand around the hammer.
I figured.
Yeah.
But I imagine Theo's gonna fill us in on this.
Yeah. So you would recognize that this is 100% an elven like dating structure. Dawns being centuries and eras being thousands of years. And so he's kind of staring out at it, and he goes, so all of this ends.
Yeah. You said that, so basically after a certain point you disappear from this. So do your last words really want to be calling someone an abomination and, you know, you not getting any of what you want to actually get out be, or are we going to play nice? Have a little tea party and, you know, chat, discuss.
I honestly don't know. When I was passed the hammer, it was my grandfather's, and he presented the information to me clean and precise. So you'll have to excuse me if I am ill prepared for the circumstances I find myself in. The time between my world and yours, your people were slaves, I guess would be the best word, to the dragons who we were attempting to rid of this land. I don't know if we succeeded. I don't know how the war on that front is going. The Triso Empire was backing them last I heard, so I assume probably poorly. If you're around, anyways. So if I may pass some scribed information to you, the hammer is an extension of my family's role. We were proud hunters of the lesser races, mages, to ensure their compliance.
So this is a very bad thing.
Perhaps from your view, it does me little good, I suppose, to not give you the information other than the fact that it will take you slightly longer to figure it out. But as per our customs and rules, I suppose it is by right yours, and you are now a part of my family. So, Theodore Blade of the Dark Sun, congratulations.
Oh, honey, I don't do titles. It's just Theodore Blade. Or in your case, it'll just be Mr. Blade.
You don't have a choice. This is how these things work.
Oh, I have a choice, buddy. Son, I have many choices. I chose to marry my wife. I chose to hang up my very spicy ways. I have many choices. Right now, I do not choose to go by
Everybody hydrate.
Dark Sun. Now, you're telling me that this was used to hunt down quote unquote lesser beings, mages, correct?
Yes.
So what exactly does it do?
It prevents their magic from working.
So I'm a firm believer that people can turn over a new leaf and people can do good. We're going to use this for good from now on, okay?
I cannot stop you even if I wished to. I suspect the reign of my people has come to an end anyways.
Yeah.
For you to be here to grab this item would suggest probably this is the end.
And I'm all intents and purposes. It's sad to see a group of people no longer exist.
I would hardly think that someone of your position would feel that way if I were in your shoes.
It's called empathy, son.
Perhaps of a time you don't understand. The world I exist in is very different from yours. So,
indeed,
were I in your shoes, I doubt your empathy would be so well placed.
And that's what makes me and you different. You saw this as something, as a tool to enslave, to put down, to make people feel weaker. But every tool can be used for something for good. Now, I would like to tell you a couple of things, and I think Theo would know about the history of Dragonborns, correct?
Yep.
And essentially, like how, if I'm remembering the document clearly, because it's been a break, of how they basically have like different sections of Dragonborns that they all had different various jobs. There's like a giant library, something around those lines.
Yeah, most Dragonborn dedicate their lives to the accumulation of knowledge.
And I think he would tell him that. And then he would turn around and say, but then you have me, who's gone off and become an adventurer. Because the best way to seek knowledge and gain knowledge is to see the world and meet its very fine people. And fine people indeed.
Thirsty Theo over here.
And one thing I've learned is empathy. So while you may not see that as a possibility, and I'm not here or there to convince you that, because like I said, you are dead. It's not my place to try to tell a dead man how to feel no more. My wife can do that. And that's not my job description. Oh, is there anything else that you would like to tell me? Anything else you would like to tell me about your people and, the interesting practices that you've done?
I suppose you have my attention until you so wish to no longer. So, what would you like to know?
He's going to look at him and simply say, everything. Your structures, the way that you ran your people, your military, the way that you operated that. How'd you govern your own society, and why you were hell-bent on wiping out anyone magical or anyone that you deem lesser? I want to know everything.
You misunderstand. We did not seek to wipe out the lesser races. Do you have cattle in your timeline?
I don't like where this is going.
Do we
Really
have
don't
cattle?
like.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
cows.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have cows, chickens, camels. We have a variety of animals.
They serve a purpose, correct?
Yes.
Would you exterminate them?
Why? Her name's Lorelei. I have a cow named Lorelei at home. She's nice to cuddle with. Why would I exterminate her?
In the same way you would not exterminate your cattle, we would not exterminate the lesser races. Mages pose a threat to the order of things, but we would not exterminate them. We would eliminate mages and groups that sought rebellion against the Empire, but we would not exterminate them. They serve a purpose in the order of things.
But why mages specifically? And lesser races are really getting weird. We're gonna come back. We're gonna circle around back that later. But why mages in particular?
Mages posed the direct use of arcanium. Their capacity to actually channel it without consequence posed a risk to all of this. And further, if they could get their hands on it, they could manipulate the weave in ways that we could not perceive. It would be the same but different.
Yes.
Ah. Now, if I would try to explain to you how, because again, I'm not a magical kind of person. I'm very much here's my hands, here's what I could do. Again, my wife can do that. She's more like divine magic. Things she can do scare me sometimes. Other times I'm just at least it's not pointed at me. You could say the same thing about those with divine magic.
Oh my God.
Would you hunt them as well?
No, we how would I explain this in a way? The churches of the lesser races were established by us to ensure their faith in our order.
This conversation's definitely going places that I no longer want to keep going towards. I think I got enough information out of you. This has been a fun conversation, son. It's Shah, right? Shah of the Dark Sun.
Shah, yes.
Yeah, I'm not taking that title. Like I said before. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
If I may present something, if you are in our city, is it intact? Does this city still stand?
I'm gonna just let you go to the afterlife wondering that.
The only reason I bring it up is titles are a magic of their own. They are not just denoted to one or another. They serve a purpose within our system and would grant you access to different things. Badges are symbols to showcase whose titles we possess, but they're of very little importance to the actual function. It's the title itself bestowed, as you have now been by taking up my mantle, whether you wish to pursue it to its end or not. It comes with its own sense of power. This city is a keep of mine, and as such, the weapons of it are born only to those born under the dark sun.
Okay, son, you got me there. I'm not that mean. I can't be that mean. It's not. My wife always said I need to be meaner, but it's not working. It's not working. Your city still stands. It's a bit dusty. It needs a good cleaning. It's currently floating in the ocean. It was floating in the air, and then it slammed into the ground. Me and my friends, we don't know. We don't have an adventure name yet. It's in the works. We're still figuring that out. We found it and got it running. Like, I think they said 20%. It started floating and shifting out, and we got it out to sea. So now it's just kind of hanging out in the sea.
20%, so around 5,000 charges, give or take, to engage.
Actually, since I got you here, how do we get this city fully charged?
Oh, in the same way you may bring to herd your cattle and bring them to slaughter, so too does Arcanium require a sacrifice.
Oh no.
Plain terms.
Oh, I apologize. To charge Arcanium, you must incur a casualty event, something that affects the weave. So a meteoric impact, for example, generates a period of Arcanium as it affects the weave, or a mass casualty event. We learned to manufacture them years ago in such a way that we could construct massive quantities of Arcanium. Any civilization, any township, realistically, of a lesser race, or I suppose technically even we would be eligible if you knew how to manipulate the system, could be used. And you watch him stop, and he looks towards the center and he goes, "That is why I am here. One last stand to keep it going. I understand now." Those who understand the core tenets of how to manipulate our technology could, in theory, control Arcanium to absorb anything. Any life force, realistically, can be used if it, removed from the vessel, the body, quickly enough, would create enough energy to charge Arcanium, especially of the city. There were almost 100,000 of us in here, and no doubt that is the reason this city still stands. The administrator probably saw fit to protect the city above its residents. Unfortunate. However, the only way to charge it would be to manufacture an event where you could create a casualty event to continue to charge it. So the more lives would be the best way to put it, that are given in the name of it, the more that you could charge the Arcanium of the city. To do about 20% would probably garner you, about 5,000 lives would be required of your average lesser rate. My apologies. You must understand. For me, this is odd. I'm trying my best to...
What you're explaining to me is that we essentially have to kill people to charge up the city.
In a way, yes.
There's no in a way. That is straight up what you are saying.
Yes, a wholesale slaughter might be the most accurate term.
So you mean to tell me that there were still people? If it's 20%, 5,000, there were 5,000 people potentially.
They don't have to be within the city limits. They within a range of probably 100 kilometers. You could, if you absolutely had to, but the closer they are, the more potent the event is. So you likely had something just outside of the city walls likely was required to charge that much.
How far were we from town?
About 5 kilometers, give or take.
And remember how something said, and I quote, "Charging now."
Ew.
Do we commit a genocide?
I think there's a moment where, as he's saying this, it clicks in Theo's head how far we are from town. And he said 100 kilometers.
At a stretch. The farther away from the event you are, the less power it'll generate, but give or take.
But there's still that sense of when they start moving back towards the town that way, there's an image that comes to Theo's mind, and he just, I think Shar would see Theo just in this moment look stunned.
I'm sorry you had to find out this way. I have found out my entire culture is very likely destroyed. And you have found out that there is a very good chance to do what you have done inadvertently. You have become similar to us.
Oh, I am nowhere near and capable of being what you are. No, put that back. Wherever you found that idea, just put it back in your mind. Take it to the afterlife with you.
Put it back.
No,
Put it back.
no. Just no.
We gotta move.
So now knowing this, we need to figure out where to put this city, because this is terrible. This is disgusting. This is unkempt, just unscrupulous shit. Just no.
Unscrupulous.
Wow, that's a word.
Good
That
word.
is our word of
That's
a
a good word.
day. That's a good word.
Someone write
Like,
that down.
No. Never again. You know, it's nice talking to you. Unless there's anything else important that you want to, divulge. Like, I have your, cool. I guess the Dark Star name. I guess if I ever need to use that name, cool.
Dark Sun, very important. If there are descendants of us, a doubt of my city, and though I know my son is not here right now, so who's to say? The name will likely still have some bearing, but I'm sorry for the revelation, and I am. And you see him pause, and he really thinks about it for a moment. He goes, I hope in earnest that the legacy you carve from here is one that is worthy of the world you wish to see.
I'll accept that. And I accept that apology. Thank you. See, you see how, doesn't it feel nice to be just nice?
I think we have
I
more
would-
issues.
I would like to leave now, please.
I feel like Nick's just like, I feel like I just lost a brother. Wait. He
I'd
knows.
like to leave now.
I would like
I mean,
to leave now, please.
I think it's up to you when you leave. I don't, again, my wife's
no.
better than this.
Unfortunately, I am at your behest until you so have decided. I have given you everything you need to know. So, we're on your time.
So wait, are you saying I can, the moment I leave this place, you leave, or do I have to release you from?
Nope. Once you are done with this conversation, all of this ceases to exist.
I'm gonna let you go be at rest now with all the terrible things that have happened. Again, I appreciate the apology and, the best wishes. Let's see if we can, make your name into something positive versus kind of looks out to the desolation. Yeah, let's see if we can do something positive. Dark Sun, not Dark Star.
That is correct.
Dark Sun.
But
Well,
isn't
son,
that
it was
not a
nice meeting you.
star?
You have a nice afterlife. Hopefully we don't run into each other in the afterlife, because I can promise you, I am going to beat your ass when I find you.
I feel it is only fair I tell you
love-
that this is not actually a fragment of my soul, but a remnant of my essence. So I will not remember this conversation if you
Oh,
do
that's
encounter it.
fine.
Still
Just
beat his ass.
I'm still going to beat your ass. That is
Oh.
completely fine, and I will relay all the conversation that we had.
I will not look forward to that event. I will be honest with you. However,
And then we'll just sit down and have a nice conversation. Sometimes you just got to get the shit beat out of you, and then it'll be good. Anyways, you have a nice time. Bye.
and you're back.
I love you. I just like all of us just like, you okay, bud?
I think when he comes back, there's just this face of like, it's horror, realization, and just WTF.
You
As
okay?
he turns around towards everyone and he starts unloading everything. And you know Theo's a very excitable person, but this is like panic rambling. Like he's like gunning it. Like if someone tried to get a word in, it's like you're not getting a word in. And he's kind of just, once he gets done, you've never seen this man out of breath, even when he was like, nearly dead. He's never seen out of breath, but this is a moment of time where Theo can canonically say, oh, he's not this. He don't feel good about this. He don't like this at all.
I think at this point, Nyx is just gonna look at future me and go, and what did you tell the ship to do?
It is
really-
currently in defense mode.
really quickly, just so you know what your new hammer can do, Theo. It is considered a +2 maul. And it has the ability to cast anti-magic field. It has 2 charges. You can use it twice, and it resets at sunrise.
Very cool.
And the hammer is the center point of the anti-magic field.
This is just beautiful. I got a great sword and now a big old hammer. I'm loving it, but also
We gotta go.
it's so evil.
Yeah, we gotta go. Turn this city off. Maybe explode it. That's just what I think.
If there's more stuff that we can find with the Dark Sun's name, sure. But once we find that stuff, you know what, Nyx, I highly agree with that.
Yeah,
Blow
explode.
it up.
Blow it up. Is everybody
Sink
okay
it to
with
the
that?
bottom of the sea. Like, I know what we told our owl friend, but no.
Speaking
No.
of heroin,
Yeah.
We gotta
Beautiful.
go.
Right on time.
you watch down below you as a circle opens up, just a little portal circle, and first it's like a very cautious like goblin steps out, looks around. This is definitely above code, and then a few more start trickling through, and you watch as some of the monstrous races from that start to come out. There's goblins, there's a couple of hobgoblins, a few of the minotaurs walk through, the kobolds from the hospital come out. And then
Yes!
heroin
Wait, they're not
shows up
safe. They're
and
not
looks
safe.
around, and he's like, "Oh, this is quite fascinating."
It's
Oh, hello,
not fascinating.
friends.
This is
We
a
gotta
deadly
go.
device.
Go back through the portal. Go back. Like Nyx is like, go back in the portal. Go back.
This is not good. This is not
Pure.
great. Go turn around.
Before we
I
get
would
in,
like to inform everyone here. It is far too late to turn back.
Future
before
me.
we get into
No.
this interaction, let's take a quick break. I think I want to stretch my legs
Yeah.
and refill my drinks.
All right.
We will
Yes.
be back in 5, chat.
All right.
we're back.
Hi.
I don't know. I've got this whole Kermit the Frog thing like on.
I love it, to be honest.
I can't do
We're
that at
back
the
with the
moment, or I
Muppet
would
Show.
join.
It's my dad energy move. So Theo, you are now back. You have explained to your friends that oops, accidentally murdered people. You did just a little bit of mass murder by accident. And then
Don't worry, it happens to us all.
Heroin has arrived with some like an advanced party basically to scout out and set up a outpost within the city, because you said, hey, there's a elven city, come see it, it's intact.
Mhm.
Yeah, I feel like Dix would just look back down and be like, "Go back, go back in the portal, back,
This
back,
Bad city.
back,
Bad city.
back." Like Nix and Theo are just on the
Everything
side,
is
like,
fine.
Go
Your
away.
safety is secure.
Go away! Don't
For
listen to
now.
future me. We got to go. Get out of here.
I'm confused. I thought you said this was you'd found this and you had it safe, and I was excited to come
Correct.
see.
It
It is safe.
people. It kills people. It's got to go.
And Theo starts just rapid firing again, the same information. It's just almost like a machine gun, Gatling gun kind of fire out every time. God, what's the owl's name?
Heroin.
Everyone would try to like interject or say something. Nope. It's just everything.
Please forgive my compatriots' emotions.
Future me, not now.
He kind of like flies up to be the same, like to where you guys are, to like actually have this conversation away from everyone else who he's brought with him. He's just like, I misunderstand. The city is effectively a
weapon.
super weapon.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Correct.
It gotta go.
But
It was made by the Sharian, and how it was essentially a fortress. And the way it charged was by charging on the, as the man said, lesser races, which is still kind of icky. It's just, they don't like that. And he presents the hammer to Heroin, and I got this hammer now that dispels magic essentially.
You go work on the crystal. Like Nix is just like, crystal.
This city bad.
I understand for sure.
A tool is just a tool.
I
It's those who
actually
wield it.
agree with future me in this matter. We are left with somewhat of two options. To abandon the city is to abandon the city to those who claim it next. And
Correct.
while many may believe the Republic to be the better option, handing a weapon over to anyone seems of poor decision to me.
I agree with the intelligent owl.
Or we
So-
can blow it up and no one could use it.
Do you have the capacity to destroy Arcanium?
I don't, but we might be able to find someone. I can make a couple of calls, see what we can do.
Can I make an Arcana roll to see if
Yeah.
I can think of any like sort of what the average process for breaking down Arcanium would be?
High roll. come on.
11.
Oh no.
Future me doesn't you like there's a part of you that feels like you understand the concept of Arcanium,
Mhm.
but the actual physical workings of it are a little less understood to you.
Understood.
We
From what I am able to tell, it is not an easy material to break down. Additionally, even if we were to shatter a crystal of this size, it may just create smaller crystals that are then easier split up and used for additional conquest and weapons and what have you.
I can't go back to jail.
Too late.
Oh no.
I don't think many
utterly horrified at this point, like just like completely ashen complexion, like no sign of any energy. I'm just like, well, in all of this place, there's got to be something that explains how to destroy it, right?
Do we still have like the sending stone to the guy?
Yep.
To heroin?
No, the other guy.
Oh,
To the outpost master.
Yep, I might need to want to talk to him for a quick second. I'm gonna be like, Future Me, can I borrow that stone for a second, buddy?
absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you.
I
Pick it
don't
up.
think.
Oh, we fucked up.
Like there's panic on the other side. Like, yes, you did.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
100% did. I explicitly I gave you the clearest of instructions not to raise the city.
Well, okay. And I don't know. Future Me touched a thing. Future Me said some things, and something happened. And I don't know. What do you want? Okay, but other words, this thing is still active.
And a weapon from what everyone is talking about.
Yes. We just found out it killed a whole village.
Do you know
Which is
how?
great.
Because there was a communication outgoing and it just stopped. And when somebody was sent to investigate, everyone's dead. Everyone.
Yeah. Look, apparently, and I'm just gonna be like, Theo, talk to the man.
And Theo once more
Yeah.
is going to like just grab Nyx's hand as they're holding the sending stone. And again, that Gatling gun rapid fire. If the outpost man tries to get a word in, nope. And he's just telling them about Char, the war that he saw, the era that this happened in, what the weapon does, what the city does, how it functions, what the mall does, just everything.
There's like, after you finish, there's a long pause. And you hear a long drawn out sigh. And he goes, "We have policies for this. We all thought, once we reached them, that this was some doomsday preparation thing. We didn't. Okay."
We got problems. We got more problems.
We have many
How-
issues that
how
we
close-
kind of need some help with. Like, and you said who's on the way again?
The military.
How close is that smoke now?
It's just like
Well, it's
pacing
still-
at
it's like-
this point.
if you were to guess, it's probably still like a few hours out.
Okay.
But like, it's a steamship or several,
Yeah.
and they're headed for you.
I think Theo would say into the sending stone. So what's the likelihood of us being arrested and jailed for life after all this? What's
Well, I have good news and I have bad news.
Great, love that. Fucking
I'll
love
start with
that.
the bad news. You would definitely be arrested. The good news is there would be no jail time.
I would
Because they
rather
would
not.
kill
Would
us.
put us to death, I'm sure. I just have a quick question because I feel like maybe I missed or have forgotten something. Are these like super mega fancy, crazy artifact sending stones?
Yeah, they're basically cell phones for the sake of.
Okay. Just checking. 'Cause I was like,
Yeah, no, they allow for two-way communication. Is how
Okay.
they're intended to operate.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're pretty much gonna be put to death.
Yeah, probably because. Okay, so. And you hear him like rifling through, like you could hear the sound of paper being rifled through.
we're fugitives?
Give
And
me
he's
something.
like- He's like, so we have a protocol for this. It's called the Black March, and nobody really knew what it was for.
Until
Jonathan
now.
Krieg thought it was important that should ever we find ourselves in possession of a weapon that would be capable of changing the tides of global politics,
Uh-huh.
we ensure it not be given to anyone affected by global politics.
Correct.
Understandable.
Okay.
It's outlined in the handbook.
Your orders are to not let it fall into their hands.
Understood.
I'm
Uh,
sorry, what, bitch?
That
So
So
That
we
comes
sink the
through.
city.
we're
Hold on,
essentially
bro.
fugitives now on a floating ship of a city.
Well, I have more good
before we
news.
move out from this, he said, "Keep the city from getting in people's hands." Future me goes, "Understood. Herwin, please assist me." And Future me just starts heading towards the central tower again.
No. Last
Emily,
time
no.
you prayed.
You are all still caught up in this conversation. I am out.
Oh no.
I think he sees future me leaving. And this is the one moment of time where Theo's like, I'm not stopping this because we're already kind of in the shit.
Are we gonna take more lives? Like, do we need to worry about that? Do we have enough power to move this to another location?
So as you're kind of like chattering at him, Valus goes, I need you to listen to me incredibly carefully because there are a very important series of events that are about to occur. None of you exist anymore. We are
Right.
removing your names from the ledger. As far as we are concerned, it is not you there, which will give you enough element to be able to hide your identities. We can strike you from the ledger for the time being. Your badges will ensure you can be added back to it afterwards. Do not lose them.
I have a problem. My
I'm a-
necklace is tied.
I'm aware of your situation, Nyx. And I will do everything in my power to find a solution for you. I don't have an answer right now.
I'm dead by the end of the day.
If you have a powerful enough mage who could, I don't know, remove the magic from the item, they could probably remove the necklace from you. If there's, I don't know.
Cool! Or it could blow off my fucking head!
I don't have
Oh, I'm gonna do something real stupid.
What?
I'm gonna hit the thing, the collar that's on Nick's neck.
Let's go! Excuse me!
Oh no, this is me as the player saying this. Geek, do I have permission to smack the thing on Nyx's neck with the hammer? It's a dispelling hammer.
Oh my god!
I want to clarify something before you just absolutely dome rock Nyx.
He's gonna die!
The hammer allows you to cast the spell anti-magic field. So it will create a field around you that does not allow spells to occur, does not allow any like spell that was cast outside to be cast into it. Anyone who's in it will not be able to cast spells. Any existing effects, like spell effects, will be ended. And above all else, all magical items, the hammer itself excluded from that, during the time they are there, become mundane.
So maybe don't rock Nyx's shit. Just say! Maybe not a good
So with all
idea.
this in mind, if it becomes a mundane item, could we, in theory, basically take it and break it?
Yes.
The
In
quest.
theory.
So it is a magic item and not like a cursed item or.
Yes, the way they operate is they're not cursed. They serve a very specific function.
Okay.
They are
This is
constructed
the
by
first time
artifacts.
I've heard about the necklace, so I don't.
Oh
know
yeah,
what
it's
it
a thing.
is.
Nobody really knows about it.
Yeah. So the necklace around Nyx's neck is this is one of those things that like should tell you that the Republic's not always the good guy. Basically, if given the solution, inmates who are considered low risk will be asked to join one of the various guilds. And given a task, and at the completion of their task, they are freed from the collar. However, if they take the opportunity to just flee, the collar does away with them.
It shocks me.
It's
Shocks
effective.
Nyx.
So how big is this dome?
Like the one the hammer casts, 10 feet. It's a 10-foot radius.
So this is where I ask permission once more.
Do not rock Nyx's shit.
It's not specifically aiming at Nyx's head. It's in that moment of like a character's in panic, and it's like he's hearing like something's going on with my buddy. And it's like, I imagine, I'm almost called him Typhon. I got too many T names. Theo doesn't know the exact penalty of the necklace. but he sees Nyx freaking out about it. And I think it's like a 2+2 situation where that thing needs to be off. I got something that can do that.
This is also a tracker.
If it's a whole like if you can just cast an anti-magic field, you shouldn't need to use the hammer necessarily to remove the necklace. We could see if we have something that can do it with a little more finesse.
Or Theo just wants to whack Nick sometimes. Theo's like, I got it.
Smash Nick's throat with a hammer without doing damage.
But that's why I'm asking, like, is this a possibility with Geek and DM, with the DM? How would that work? Or would that just be literally me swinging at their head and hoping to God?
So mechanically, you would be rolling. What would happen is you could cast anti-magic field, and then you could swing the hammer. There is a very important note in that has to be considered as well. The spell's effect only lasts until you use the hammer as a hammer.
Oh, so it just oh no. No.
So up until the point it makes contact with the collar, it is casting anti-magic field. The second it makes contact, it is no longer casting anti-magic field.
And any
So,
temper-
So
no.
there's two factors. You're going to have to roll to hit against the AC of a very small object on another person. And if you roll above Nyx's AC, but below the necklace's AC, you hit Nyx. That would be the series of events that would happen.
I'd rather not.
If we use the hammer to take the necklace off, that is.
Yeah,
You
so like
can put up the field and Nyx could probably take it off.
I think that's what's probably going to happen then. As this
Yeah.
conversation's going on and he hears Nyx saying like something about the necklace, anti-magic field, and it's not like he's swinging at them. He's dropping the butt of the hammer on the ground and just boom. And a 10-foot radius of just that field is now up.
So
And I
anyone
imagine
inside the
sorry.
field, your magic items stop working. So any magic items you have on you at that time cease to be magic items temporarily.
Oh
Wow.
no, Theo, your ring.
Yeah, trust me.
He's got
Oh,
it,
I know. But there's other important things right now. Theo knows that if I do this, his ring is about to go. That connection is going to be severed for a very small amount of time. And I think as soon as that as soon as that field goes up, he's going to look at Nyx and say, I don't know what that necklace is doing to you. I don't, but you seem to be freaking out about it. Get it off. Just get it off.
What's the significance of the ring?
Oh, so basically if Theo drops, that ring goes off like Ultraman's like if you ever seen the show Ultraman, you know when his life force starts draining and his the counter on the gem on his chest starts beeping.
Mhm.
Yeah, if that continues beeping, a very funny person shows up.
His wife will
Theo's
beat
wife.
us. That is his wedding ring, and his wedding ring tells his wife if something bad has happened to him, and if that's the case, she will come and she will rock our shit. Like,
And now the fact that it's not now that the magic has been severed, I can only imagine what kind of signal that is sending. God knows how far
she's
away.
gonna kick our ass.
No, not your ass. It's just
Thank you. I appreciate it. I just,
It's a very funny
having
conversation.
not been here for the first arc, I don't know anybody's back.
It's okay.
Yeah,
okay.
The thing is, nobody knows Nyx's backstory because Nyx hasn't told anybody. The only people that know is if they ran into the collar before.
Oh, Alice knows a little because of the book that he read.
Don't think Theo knows anything about it, but again, he just sees his buddy panicking, and it's that moment of, okay, my wife is just going to have to be upset now.
Hey David, what does Nyx gotta do to get this collar off? Because he's having a existential crisis, also panic attack, right now.
Yeah, so the collar itself is fairly simple in its operation. It is locked behind Nyx at probably the worst possible angle to try to use lockpicks on by yourself.
Cool.
And the way that it's kind of mounted on, it's really like you couldn't really like rotate it per se to like it's fitted. Basically once it's clamped on it, like it fits into place and it's going there.
If you
Um,
see Nyx's art, there's scars all around it because their scales were ripped out just for this thing to stick on.
So somebody would have to either like pick the lock to remove it from the back, or just physically like break it off.
Help! Help! Who sticks to who knows how to pick
I have a-
locks?
That'd be sleight of hand, right? You
Yeah.
said?
Yes.
Yeah, I have a +3 to that myself.
Okay. Do you have
still have-
proficiency in thieves' tools though?
No.
Okay.
Like
So
a
it
freeze.
would, if you did it, I
I
would
know,
give you
that's
sleight of
not
hand, but it
helpful.
would be a disadvantage.
Yeah. Or
Oh.
if you
That
get
or
someone
Theo rips
strong.
it off.
Yeah.
But does Theo have to hold on to the hammer?
Nope. The you can put the hammer down. The spell's effect is still cast.
I like to imagine the hammer's just kind of sitting there, like floating, like
Oh, like Thor's hammer.
it's like it's just waiting because the field's up. It's like just swing.
Like, what do I do now?
It's the graphic for an MMO when an area of effect is in order.
That's
Then people know where the center
Yeah.
of origin is.
So can I see? Like I imagine Nyx is trying to get to the collar right now.
So
Can Theo-
there's
Sorry.
a couple. So just so we kind of have like the order of events, you activate the hammer. The sending stone immediately just becomes basically a hunk of stone in your hand. And all of your magical items that you guys have, including your wedding ring, Theo, cease to be magical items while they're inside the field. Anyone who's a bag of holding, everything gets expelled from your bag of holding. Although I don't know if any of you do have a bag of holding.
No bags of holding yet.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes it easy. We don't have to worry about your bag dumping everything onto the ground.
Yay.
But I think, actually, if I remember correctly, the bag rips and just becomes useless.
I
But I'd
think
have to
so.
double check. So yeah, your it takes into effect, which means also Nyx, your necklace is now no longer a shock collar, capable of being used by people to control you, make you do what you want. But only for as long as the field works. You've got an hour.
cool. I need help. Like Nyx is like, I need it off. I need it off right now.
Can this be like a group effort so we can use the help action to
100%.
enhance our roles?
100%.
Because how does
Um,
help work?
2024 help rules.
I will say my familiar that's still up, that stone and mushroom owl, is sitting on the edge of the anti-magic barrier, just like
Oh, yeah.
watching because he
Yeah,
can't go
yeah.
in.
Don't go in.
This is the no-go zone.
It's like
I
their
also
head like
do-
tilted.
I do have a bless slot available, and I have guidance as well. So
Magic won't work in the sphere.
Yeah, because that's
you
divine
wouldn't be able to
magic.
cast
does it touch the person? Yeah.
Would Bardic
This has nothing
Inspiration
to
work in the
offer in
field
this
still or no?
No.
Okay. I didn't think so. I just wanted to make sure.
So basically how help works the same way. You are if one of you has skills in the space that is attempting to, obviously Nyx, you can't assist with this.
No.
You
'Cause
can
he's
use the
having a
help
panic
action
attack.
to match that ability check. So if it's a skill or an ability check and you're proficient in it, you can help them with that action. So for example, if Theo, because you're a fighter, right?
Mhm.
You'd be able to use athletics as no, I don't think Theo has athletics, does he?
I have athletics.
Oh, there you go. So yeah, you'd be able to use athletics to attempt to pull it open, and somebody else with athletics could help you along with that roll. Or you could just do a raw strength check, and anyone with proficiency in strength saving throws, I would also give the opportunity to help you rip the thing off. Alternatively, if it's a sleight of hand check and Alice is trying to do it and one of you also has sleight of hand, you could cancel out the disadvantage for attempting to use lockpicks for the first time.
So I have athletics. I don't have sleight of hand.
I can't help. I'm having a panic attack.
Yeah, I have.
Fair enough.
I have neither of those.
Oh,
Rip it off.
So
Just
we're
rip
going
it
to
off.
see what happens when we go with athletics.
Okay.
Is everyone cool with
Super
this?
strong. You're super strong. Just rip it off.
I'm
You decapitate me. I'll roll a new character. Let's go.
Oh, let's go, baby!
Ah!
What does it look like as you're like ripping into this collar to pull it off?
So
Oh
I
my
think he
God.
sees Nyx like trying, like that that panic of, oh God, oh fuck, what did we just do? Mixed with everything else. Theo locks on because it's probably not the first time where he's been around a bunch of people panicking, and it's just like dad mode. He grabs Nyx by the collar, pulls him closer to himself, and you just see like almost as if his shirts you see the muscles bulge out from his clothing. You see from his chest his muscles start expanding because he's going full strength. What again, old man strength is funny as he just starts and you see springs, wires, cables, cords, whatever fly out of this collar. And what does the inside of the collar look like?
If I may,
Yeah, go for it.
David. As you're pulling it away, it actually was like magically like stuck to his skin. They removed his scales and everything to get it straight on the skin. So when you're pulling it, you're actually pulling skin off. And as you're doing it, it pulls off, and there's just like a red layer of muscle as you pull it off, as the skin was not allowed to heal and was infused into the necklace. So as you pull it off, it's just ripping skin and everything off at the same time.
I think when he sees that happen, he's throwing the necklace on the ground, grabbing the hammer, full 180 over his head, wham! Like just destroying it absolutely. Also getting rid of the anti-magic field.
I think Nyx would just like fall. Like, he doesn't have knees, but he would just like fall like if he had knees and just like hold his neck and just like blank stare, not saying anything, not speaking, just blank stare, processing.
And I think he would look at Lucy and God, I'm so sorry with names right now.
Alice?
Alice. I knew my brain was like Alice, but it's not. I think he would look at both of you and just point at Nyx and say, "Can you help?" And just he's patting around his neck as he's pointing towards Nick, like, "Can you help them with? Yeah, can you?"
Oh yeah.
Let me see if I have a spell that I think might be.
Now that the collar's off, and I guess this first layer of skin around it is probably off too.
Yeah, you just see muscle.
Yeah. Would a healing spell work for that, or would it need to be something stronger?
Yeah,
I
you
do
could
have healing word.
Yeah, you could have to do healing, and it would effectively scab it over. It's gonna take a while for it to like heal. Like this is a pretty like serious injury.
Oh, do I take damage?
Let's find out. Let's let fate decide.
You know what? I'm gonna be a good player. I should take damage, right?
You are going.
Nyx has had this collar on for 18 years.
10 points of damage.
All right.
Could have been way worse.
What did you have?
Don't worry about it.
He rounded down.
When the DM says that, you should always worry about it.
Yeah, it was like 50 points of damage right there. Nick's dead.
Yeah, so if Lucy doesn't have something, Alice does.
I mean, I have a slot for cure wounds on hand.
You might want to keep it just in case. I'll be honest.
Oh, I have a med kit. Yeah, I have a health kit.
Yeah, a health kit probably would be the best, right?
I think he would pull out the health kit and just kind of do this motion towards Lucy and Alice, like, who's better at this?
Yeah, has somebody got medicine?
Nope. I don't. Yeah, you laugh.
Yeah. Future me has medicine. Guess where they are? Not here.
I'm doing other things to prep.
I guess Theo would just start bandaging him up as
Does
if
Theo have
anyone.
medicine?
I don't have it proficiently, but I got like a 1 in it.
Better than me.
Yeah,
I
give me a
have
medicine
two.
roll. Let's see how well you do.
I have four in medicine, just no proficiency.
Oh, then you can take it.
Oh.
This is for
Yeah.
you. Don't make me do this. I got my one good roll today. Everything else is down there.
God damn, you guys are doing great.
Nice.
Lucy, you've worked a long time doing your own adventures, climbing down into the bottoms of abandoned cities and towns, the
I've had
ruins
to
of
catch up a lot of interns.
yeah. This at first you're like, oh well, I know how to handle this, and it's just it's like riding a bike.
I hear a butt coming.
No butt.
Oh,
No butt.
It sounded like it.
Lucy will just carefully carefully apply bandages, whatever kind of salve might be needed to just keep the area moist but also protected. And when she's finished, she looks at Nyx and says, if this starts to feel like painful, extra painful, or like it's drying out or your bandages are falling off, just let me know and I can touch it up. That's not a problem.
Blank. Just blank. Like tears are falling. Like he's had this color on for 18 years.
I mean, Lucy's probably just going to keep up kind of like a hope, like what to her would be like a reassuring chatter, just like, hearing a friendly voice kind of deal.
I think Theo's
Even if there's not really a response, unless he specifically tries to stop her.
Yep, no, nothing. When you hug Nyx doesn't pull away. That's how messed up he is right now. He's blank stare.
Wow.
I think Theo starts just rubbing his back and also just saying, "You're free. I don't know what this was, but you're free."
I just realized we had doctors on hand too, guys.
They're standing
Stairs.
They're taking notes. They're like taking notes. Like yes.
You know what? Note taking. The
Backbone
of
of
medicine.
But he's definitely just standing there with Nyx, just rubbing his back, saying, "You're free. You're free."
I don't think Nyx is trying just to be like, okay, not the time, not the just trying to refocus, but at the same time, like everything, like the past 18 years was this point, and now like the collar was ripped. But is he technically free? He's still he's on the run now. Like he was working his way to being free, and now he's on the run. And so like everything is cascading, and he just goes, "Where's future me?"
Speaking
of,
Fan.
Future me, you and Heroin have made the run towards. I'm assuming the central continent is kind of.
I'm going to the console.
No, we're all gonna die.
I mean, we've already made
Incorrect.
wild choices. We might as well keep this shit on going.
We have the directive. Keep it out of the hands of any political party or figure. The military is coming here. We need to be not here. So yeah, Heroin, I appreciate your expedient arrival here.
You had me excited to begin with, but this is fascinating and dangerous, and I am terrified and excited.
Aren't we all? I believe some of us more terrified than excited. But fear fades.
Excitement doesn't.
Never.
Oh, there's two of them.
What do you need help with? How can I
We are standing in the most arcane marvel of our time. You are a person of arcane knowledge that is vast. I am also a purveyor of arcane knowledge and have a vast history and library of said knowledge. Our main directive currently is to keep this city out of the hands of political figures that would misuse this power. As you had mentioned earlier, a tool is a tool and has no moral bounds of its own. It is how a tool is used.
Correct? Yes.
With your wishes and permission, I would like to turn this city into something of a safe haven for those who are downtrodden or have nowhere else to go outside of political bounds.
I know many would appreciate it. Is there a way we could fill the city quite easily? But I fear that just simply moving it means they'll eventually come looking again.
We must go up.
Okay. How?
Beyond the layer of clouds. We'll hide in the cumulus.
Oh, that would be interesting. Dangerous in its own way, but exciting. We could make that happen. Is the city capable? I know they could hover. I don't know how high.
The height is dependent on the amount of energy available. We currently have a large army approaching.
Oh my god.
Oh no!
I mean, Alice was just thinking that, so
Definitely all be executed.
And we also broke
We're-
Nix's collar, which I am imagining is probably sending a beacon somewhere.
I would like to inform
They just
everyone
don't-
here. I'd like to remind them of the wonderful Disney's Hercules show and the specific scene where Pain and Panic, the two little comedic relief demons, go, if is good.
if they find out.
Oh,
I
Yeah.
have moral dilemmas about killing. However, I suspect being found here, it is now a kill or be killed situation, isn't it?
Correct.
Is it not?
It is
Okay.
either we are arrested and killed, and this city falls into the hands of a political figure that may misuse it, or we misuse it here and turn it into something good.
Okay. We can establish later a teleportation circle to make it happen where this can become a haven. How do I help? What do you need me to do?
I am unsure.
Okay.
cool.
Please, you're honest.
Let's start with getting it off the ground, perhaps.
I can handle the piloting of the city.
Excellent. I will communicate with my compatriots, and we will see about bringing them here. If the attempt to turn an army into a power source fails, I suspect that the solution would be to defend
Smoke
it
and
afterwards.
mirrors.
Let's do that. Let's and you see him kind of like look off to the side, and you recognize the spell he's casting pretty quickly, where he's just like, this is me sending a message. He's like, okay, they will prepare to reuse the teleportation circle I set up to come here. I will take some time to gather the materials to restart it. However, we will be at your disposal as you need.
It is my hope that none of us will be disposable.
Mine too.
And then I will turn to the console. I will sink my hands into it. And re-engage the dialogue with the city.
It feels more coherent. Like you were talking to somebody who had like just woken up before, and was simply providing information. Now the city has had time to kind of like begin to reboot and restart and actually like come alive. what you know now of how Arcanium is created, you realize you're not talking to the construct that is the city. You are
Mhm.
talking to the embodiment of the energy that makes the Arcanium work.
Okay.
It is less a person and more the essence of life. It is the essence of what is to be a person that's kind of given control of the city, is how these were operated before. And before, like, it didn't really make sense to you. Like, it seemed confused and stuttery and kind of broken apart. But now what you realize, like, what you've been engaging with is what it is to be a person, what it is to be the person that is the people that make up the calamitous event that created Arcanium. To steal a phrase from future me, they are not dead, they are just different.
Hmm. There is no creation or dispelling of energy, just the endless transfer.
Yeah, and the city goes awaiting further orders.
Please, I encourage you to lift off.
Insufficient power for defensive status and liftoff.
Search nearby charges.
And there's kind of a pause, and it's like 2,000 charges found.
2,000. Is that enough to maintain flight and defensive status?
That should remove power limitations.
Time till next recharge?
There's like a lack of understanding.
Basically, in essence, as I'm trying to figure out, does it consume the energy as we are going along? Will we continue to need to fuel this, or is it like we get it charged, it's done, it's good, and it can sustain for a long time?
It basically once, so the state it was in, the super low power state that you kind of found itself in was a standby mode, and you haven't like, when your phone's in like low power mode and you don't like,
Yeah.
you cross a certain point and it's like, you no longer need to be in low power mode, so I'm just going to turn myself off. You haven't crossed that threshold, so you kind of got two options. You can either like manually disengage low power mode, which will like fully turn the city back on, or you can attempt to like leave it in low power mode and acquire more charges, and the city will kind of limp along in this like this or that state.
Okay, I will disable defenses, enable flight, and start moving like diagonally up and towards where the military is coming from. I want to take off over top of their heads.
Okay.
Like that direction.
Yeah, so as you're like disable defenses, you watch like from the outside, those of you outside just watch as the shield goes and it's like this like pulse kind of just like pulls and separates away the shield, leaving like open air above you. And you feel that familiar rumble of the ground starting to shake and everything beginning to move. And this time there's this rushing of water as the city itself begins to pull back out of the water, and you can hear the like sewer system basically evacuating all of the water that had filled it in as it had landed, like rushing back out the sides until it has reached its kind of equilibrium state. And yeah, lifts itself back up and slowly starts to like towards this military organization and up. For those of you that are still at the wall, you can see out over, and basically as you're moving, you're now kind of like canceling each other out, moving, and as you begin to pass over the military formation, they fire on the city. They see it lifting off, they see what it's doing, and like you see cannons turn, and they just unload, and the city is unfazed by the actions that they're taking. Like you can tell there's probably some kind of damage beneath you happening, but it doesn't really seem overly bothered. So it's probably fairly minimal. But you can hear the sound of cannons like systematically rolling off and firing as you fly over top.
Hands on the console.
So how high are we going right now?
You're like maybe 1,000 feet off the water.
And as we hit that center point where the island is kind of over top of this military force, Future Me will cock her head, look at the console, look out towards the ocean. It is unfortunate that things had to be this way. Charge.
For those of you on the wall, the rolling sound of cannon fire slowly dies off. It's those like videos of World War II or World War I as armistice reaches from the trenches. The sound of cannons slowly just fading into silence. There's kind of an awkward moment. And then you hear the sounds of the gulls and the bird songs, and just everything kind of returns to as though you're out on the open ocean all by your lonesome.
I think Nyx would just vomit at that. Just vomit. Just just fully like hands on the ground, just pukes up his stomach because he knows what happened.
I mean, yeah, Lucy at this point, like knowing what it takes to further charge the city, is just going to be in shock that this is happening again. Now that we know how many people are being killed. Because like from where we are, we have no idea where the charges come from, right?
Yeah.
It could be another nearby city. It could be our friends. It could be...
Well, you wouldn't know that so even from where you are, you wouldn't really have an idea that the crystal's being charged. You would just hear 1 minute the sound of guns, the next minute nothing.
Right. I thought that,
feels
like, by
just-
the fact that the city like started moving and raising and everything, that we would know that more energy was being put in.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
Yeah, that's why Nyx is just unloading his guts.
I think Theo's like rubbing his wedding ring. There's no words. It's just him massaging it.
Future Me, you now have about 35% power of the city, and the city could safely leave and maintain regular operations out of low power mode now at this point.
Okay. I will not re-enable defenses. I will focus on our flight, specifically managing height, wanting to get us up out of reachable space, except by means of, I guess, airship would be needed.
Yeah.
And then getting us out kind of over international waters for all legal intents and purposes.
Kind of moving away from the land, the continent, as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's
trying to find any sort of cloud cover or like sea bound, anything to kind of break line of sight so that we can't be easily followed.
Yeah, it's a slow climb. There's not a lot, but you also, as you start to climb and you're moving out of that low power state, you can almost see like the city sees, and you can tell there's a bunch of now ships just kind of aimlessly, like they're full steam, full power, going, but they're just whatever state they were in when you converted them to charges. That's what they're off. So that ghost fleet is now going to drift until it hits something and stops. But there's nothing really around. It's a fairly calm day, so there's not a lot of clouds either, but nothing can really track you from your angle as you climb higher and higher up. I will say your top altitude you'll be able to go where it won't be dangerous to the people around you would be about 11,000 feet. Air will become thin, but you're going to move out of kind of the visibility. Like people would be able to look up and see if they happen to cover in the right area, and you'll still be able to breathe, or those that breathe would still be able to breathe with limited issues. Climbing any higher and the ability to breathe will become a problem.
Okay. Once we've hit that altitude and are out of like the realm of being seen, I want to go over with the computer a cycle of movement, so that it's not, you know, a ship goes by and goes, hey, there's something there, reports it, and then it's still there. It is going to be cycling on a routine or a program that I have given it over top of a vast ocean area. And that's what I'm going to set up.
Okay. There will be further consequences, no doubt, for the actions taken. But it's 10 o'clock. So we're going to call it a night. We're going to get some rest. And hopefully next week we'll deal with future Me's choices. And go from there. To our players. Thank you.
Hey, yo.
Thank you for giving
That
me an
was
opportunity
baller.
to tell a fun little story. Fun being a bit of a stretch of a phrase. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to tell a little bit of a harrowing story tonight with you all. Hopefully we'll be back next week if all goes according to plan, knock on wood. To everyone who tuned in and watched, I want to say thank you for welcoming us back. A little bit of a slower day for us as we're kind of finding our groove and getting back into it, but there's more good things to come. So definitely, by all means, we look forward to seeing you back here again next week. As we were talking about earlier, before the game started, we have merch at logomancy.ca. You can find all of our lovely stuff. Anything you buy goes directly to supporting us here on the channel and making sure that we are able to continue doing the amazing things we do, supporting with gear and whatnot as we go along. And just in general, for those of you that want to hang out with us, you go to logomancy.ca, you'll be able to find our links to our Discord and to all of our socials. We're on basically every platform, although slowly phasing out some of the other platforms, namely Twitter, eventually as time goes on. And we have a Discord, so if you want to hang out with us and chat on Discord, all of the lovely people beneath me and myself, of course, are on Discord there, so you're able to talk to us, ask our questions about our characters. We have a section for stuff about the current game. We'd love to sit and have conversations about everything that happened tonight. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of conversations that happen about what happened tonight, and we will come back to that. Until that, I want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you from the team here at Logomancy Media, and we are going to find somebody to send some love out to.
You know, you do this all the time. You say you find someone to send out love to, and then every time you're like, oh, this person, oh no, they just ended. Oh, this person, oh no, they just
Dyson
ended.
Autism.
Are they live?
They should be. They have 12 viewers currently.
Okay, hold on. Where are our friends? I know we're following them.
Where are our friends?
Friends?
What's our friends?
Where are you?
What are our friends?
Our friends have been turned
boy.
into charges.
Yeah, so we're gonna send some love over to Dice and Autism. They're an amazing content creator collective with us. So we're gonna send over to them, tell them we said hello. Maybe give them a little bit of a haunting tale of woe when you get there. Until such times that we see you again. Have a wonderful night. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.